Hi all, this is Fawaz Muhammad. Welcome to SharePoint World. Today we are going to look how we can get more than 5000 items from a SharePoint list using REST API. So for that, here I have created one list, employee list, and the list having almost 8882 data are there. So today in this video we are trying to fetch these items. So if we open the employee, here you can see I have created like user one up to like almost near to 9000 data in this list. Okay, so now we will check how we can do that. So this is our employee page. So if we go to size assets, here we have employee detail page. So this is our page. Okay, in this page here we are going to show the demo. So for that what I'm planning is like in our console window we are displaying the items. So how much item you retrieved, everything we can display here. So before I jump into the code, I will just show you what actually I have did in this page. Okay, so this one we already learned like how to fetch an item using REST API. Like so in our HTML page, here you can see I have given a link to the JS file, employee.js file, and on the button click, this is the button click. Okay, so for that button click we have provided the get list item. So in the get list item, this is the function. So what we have done here, simply we are just fetching the employee items and we are displaying in our success. So here we will get the data. So we will try what is the result. So here you can see this is the default the item, how we can retrieve the functionality. So here you can see like we have given our site URL and the employee list item. Okay, so now we go to our employee page. Okay, so we will just refresh, we will just clear the console. Okay, so now I'm just trying to click the employee item function. So once I click this one, here you can see in the console, this is our output. Okay, here you can see we have only retrieved 100 items. So the first lesson here is like by default REST API will only retrieve 100 items. If we want more than 100 items, what we have to do, we have to use a top function. So let's check how we can do that. So now we will check how we can solve the 100 item issue. So to get more than 100 items, we have to use the top function. So to do that, just like $top, and here we have to mention how many items we need. So here I will mention like 400. So once we save, now we will open our page. So just refresh the page. So I'm just clearing the console, so we will get a good picture. So now we will just click our get employee item. So once we click, we will check the console. So here you can see we retrieved 400 items. So we solved that by default only 100 item REST API will return. So now it's returned 400 item. So now we will check the another point here. Like suppose if I need to get more than 5000 items. So if I put here like 5000, okay, once I save, and I will check our, okay, so now we will check 5000 items. So how it will return. So we'll just refresh our page, just click on the get employee items. So once we click, go to the console. So here you can see we got the 5000 items successfully. So now the next thing, how we'll return more than 5000 items. So this is the another thing we have to learn here. So by using the top function, we have only retrieved 5000 items. Okay, I will show you. Suppose if I put like 5000, something like 5200. So once I save this, refresh the page again. Okay, so we will check what will happen. Okay, for the 5200. So once we refresh the page, I click again the employee items. If we go to our console, here you can see the response text. See, you can see the error message like this, the attempt operation is prohibited because it exceeds the list view threshold. because the list view threshold is 5000. So here we are going to check how we can solve the 5000 item. To solve this, I will just show you how we can solve this. So I have already the code. I just copy and I will show you how we can achieve this. We are just changing the code. Okay, so before I explaining the code, I will show you one more thing. Okay, we will just revert and I will show you, like if we given like 5000, so this is the default limit, and if we save here, okay, so once we click on the employee items, so if the list has more than item, again it will return. Then we have a property will get like next, so and it also contain a URL, so we have to utilize this next to retrieve more than 5000 item. So let us see again how it will happen. So I'm just copying the code. Okay, so here I'm just pasting. Okay, so now I will explain what are the codes. So here you can see this is our get list item. Okay, so here we have the URL like top 5000. Okay, so now what will happen is, like in our function I have written one more function and we are passing the URL. So what will happen is, like for the first success we will store our response in a response array. Here you can see like we have given like a response array. So in this response array, we are storing our first URL response. So already we discussed, we have a dot, this next condition is there. So we, to fetch those items, what we have to do, we will check all written, like if it contain the next URL, then we are passing those URL to our get list item again. So in this get list item, what will happen again, the next URL means which we show before, right? So when we get the console, here we have a URL like next. So this URL actually we are passing the next URL. So this is we passing again to our function. So what will happen, it will check so how much data are there, that all record it will again looping. So and it all this thing to store to our response. So here what we are doing, so if it is finished, like there is no any next, then it will come to our else spot and we will get the response here. So now we will check, okay, how we can do. So here we are fetching how, so top equal to 5000 we provided. Okay, so now we are going to check how we will retrieve this function. So we'll just close this one. Once we refresh here, just getting employee items. So now if we go to our console, here see we have retrieved all the items, like almost 8,882 items in our list. If we go to our employee list, like site contents, here you can see, so all the items we retrieved now. So this is also another interview questions also, well, like how we can retrieve more than 5000 items. Also it is very useful in all of your code. So I got so many requests from our subscriber to do a video on this, so that's why actually I created this video. I hope everyone enjoy this.